I think this is a kind of a response video to something that Do Not God has been talking about recently in Mendham, in the Life Sucks series, which I'm really enjoying. But part of that series, if I understand it correctly, is about the sheer bloody unpleasantness of life, and how, you know, you look at the animal kingdom and it's you know, it's not the circle of life stuff, it's not Lion King, or it's not the pretty parts of Lion King. It's about a real struggle for existence, and it's a struggle which always ends badly. And I have to say I completely agree with that, actually. And it makes me think of I think of two inescapable truths about what it is to be human and alive and awake. Lots of other things as well, but I think there are two inescapable truths. The first thing is that all of our ancestors had sex before they died, and that sex resulted in at least one live birth. My parents had sex, which resulted in 3 live births, 4 originally, but 1 died. Their parents had sex, which resulted in at least 1 live birth each, and so on, right the way back, as far as you care to go. There's like an unbroken chain of fucking and fissioning, leading from, well, in this case me, standing in this field in Cheshire, right back to the very first, I don't know if it would be an RNA molecule or something like that, however many billions of years ago that was. An unbroken chain leading right back to the beginning of life, with its long tentacle like stretching forward and poking into the present. And here we are, at the end of that fingernail. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that in all that history, all that unbroken chain, 99.999% of those life forms, those animals, those humans, those proto-humans, have died under really unpleasant circumstances. I mean, it's not much fun dying now, actually. I mean, a lot of people die in old folks' homes, alone and abandoned, and drugged out of their mind, really. But that's a walk in the park compared to what it's been like for most of human and pre-human history. You know, most animals die in... actually, I saw this documentary about deer, actually, and the guy was like an estate manager on some estate where they kept deer. He was saying that, you know, the most deer die on their own with their throats torn out, or they break a leg and fall into a ditch and stay in the ditch for 3 or 4 days until they die of starvation. So, and that's a pattern for all life, really. Most life ends in really abrupt and unpleasant circumstances, with a lot of pain and suffering involved, unfortunately. So whatever else we're dealing with here, we are dealing, it seems to me, with those two unescapable truths. And if I can paraphrase Isaac Newton in this one, it seems to me that if we seem to have more consciousness than other animals, or if we seem to be able to see further than other animals, it's because we stand on a pile of corpses, a pile of human corpses of all the people who've gone before us, and all the animals that have gone before us, and all the single-celled animalcules and the crystals growing on the backs of rocks or whatever it is that have gone before us. So I just think it requires a bit of humility, that, really, that before we start getting a bit too big for our boots about how clever we are, about how this much vaunted consciousness we have is some kind of fantastic spiritual God-given power which is all pure. It's just worth remembering the stench that's coming up from the corpses that we're standing on. Sorry, that sounds a bit depressing.